What's up, guys? As the title probably says, it's my birthday today. And I've wanted to do something like this for a while, and it's going to be. I don't know if this is really a video for people who are sub to the channel or a video for me. I don't know. Basically, I think every year from here on out that I'm doing YouTube or creating content, I'm going to do a birthday video and pretty much just kind of talk about how things are going, how I'm doing, what I'm looking forward to, uh, maybe mental state. I don't know. Just kind of almost like something that I can look back on and be like, hey, this was me in 2022. Here's me in 2025. Are we still good? Is it better, worse? Am I enjoying life? Am I not? I don't know. Just kind of almost like a way to like look back. I know that as time goes on and you start aging more and more and more, you start forgetting more and more things that happened in your past. Only like real prominent events really seem to be remembered. So I want this to kind of be like what happened last year, like from my last birthday, what's been going on. So I had taken a job opportunity that didn't pan out for me. Um, just wasn't I wasn't mature enough for it, and I took advantage of the freedoms that I was given, and I wasn't making enough dinero to make it happen. But because of that job offer, I had left a place that was extremely toxic and upper management and horrible bosses and horrible requirements and all that type of stuff. And it ended up leading me to where I'm at now. I'm not going to use any names because it's no one's business but myself what companies I work for. But where I'm at now, I'm extremely happy. It's a leadership role. I'm helping others grow and succeed, and I'm growing and succeeding. I would say that I'm considered a prospect for even higher management in the future. I love the team that I have right now. I love the last team that I had and the first team that I've had. The situation I'm in is I'm kind of going. I started in one location, maintained it, did fairly well with all the experience that I've had. I got an opportunity to go to a place where a team had just gotten, like, a bunch of people had got fired, some people quit, they were hardly doing any business. So I went in there and started rebuilding it, and we were in the process of like a full rebuild. We got to a solid point, and then another opportunity arose to do the same thing at another place, and that's where I'm currently at. I'm about 3 weeks into that, and it's been going really good. We've made drastic progress already in such a short time, and I'm very happy with my job. Right now, I am currently on PTO for my birthday weekend. I'm going to Windover to have some fun. I'm going with B-Bert, so it should be a good time. Everything's good on that front. I am working on a lot of stuff outside of this, outside of YouTube. I've still been trying to practice my stand up. I want to really hit that hard soon, start going performing more. I'm writing a book. It's a fiction, just like, I don't even know what you want to call it, a dystopian fantasy, I guess. I don't know. No dates on that yet. That's still a huge work in progress. I've always wrote poetry since I was super young, since I got introduced to it when I was like in sixth or seventh grade. I think it was seventh grade English class. I just fell in love with it, but I was never open with it because I don't know. Back then, things were different, and poetry was a girl thing. In the area that I lived, like, if you didn't follow these certain status quos, you kind of got goofed on a little bit. And I never told people I was into poetry, and I regret it because I wish I I wish I would have, because maybe I would have made different connections in life. But yeah, I'm thinking that I've been compiling a bunch of the poetry that I've written over the years. I found a couple of my old journals. I've been revising some of those, and I think that I am gonna put out a little poetry book of sorts at some point. It's something that I think would be really fun to do, and I am kind of actually really, really, really enjoying that. The other big thing that I'm working on is and there's no time frames on these because I've realized when I put myself on restrictions and like hard timelines to get stuff out, I rush it and I end up hating it and then I don't put it out. So there's no time frames on any of this. The other thing is I'm writing a short horror film. I know this sounds like a lot, but really it's not that crazy than what you think, right? Because I'm able to put in a couple hours a night on all of these different things, right? Like I can do like an hour of YouTube, I can do an hour of writing or whatever it is. Or I can do like 4 hours YouTube and not do any of it. Like really, I've realized over the past 2 years specifically that people who are hard on themselves put a lot of restrictions. It seems like I was telling myself like, hey, like I have to get 7 or 8 videos out a week. Hey, I need to make sure that this and this and this gets done on my free time. And all I realized what I was doing is I was putting all these things on myself and then creating the desire was dissolving to actually do it. And I've changed that whole philosophy in my head. I just do things that I want to do. I stopped putting these requirements. If I don't want to put out a video today, I might not put out a video today. You know, I typically will record on one of my days off, and if I don't feel like recording, I'm not going to force it. I've looked back at videos that I could tell that I forced it, and it's not good content. It's not enjoyable. So I don't do that anymore. But it just I'm making that big transition shift from getting off work, and this was at all my jobs since I was in the workforce, right? As I'd get off work and then I would just chill. I would like watch movies or watch YouTube because that's my primary. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I'm making YouTube, but I watch a lot of YouTube. Or play video games. And don't get me wrong, like I still do these things because I need to also not always be going 100% 24/7 because you just get burnt out. And really, I want to give everyone a little life tip if you've made it this far. Life is about momentum. It really is. And if anyone's ever told you that, they've figured out the formula already. It's not about making these grand strides at a time and then not doing anything for 3 months. It's about building something small, taking the small steps. You usually hear this in the business world, but it applies to everything. One of my mentors, previous leaders, who's been on the podcast, I guess I can shout him out, Morgan, if he's listening. I don't know if you are or not. He kind of taught me the lesson of moving the needle every day with something, right? Like you get to you take these small steps, and as long as you're progressing, as long as you're moving that needle on a project or a passion or a hobby or your health, fitness, whatever it is, it's always progress. There's some days where you take bigger steps than other days, but as long as you're taking steps, you're in a good spot. That's what I do. Every single day the needle gets moved on one of the things that I'm passionate about, on top of the things that I am pursuing career wise. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the negatives I've had this last year. I would say, and year wise, I'm not talking about like 2022 or 2021. I'm talking from since my last birthday. I'm pretty sure I've made a couple videos talking about my health and fitness, and people reached out to me and asked if I was okay because they were pretty sad. I didn't mean to make the video sad. I really didn't. But, sometimes I get caught up in my own emotions during a video, and it happens. I would say in October, somewhere between October and December, I weighed the heaviest I ever have in my life. I'm not going to share the number because I just don't want to. It doesn't make me happy. Now, since then, I've dropped quite a bit of weight because the job that I'm at now, well, I shouldn't call it a job. The career that I'm at now is, I'm much more active. I'm much more up on my feet. I'll usually walk 10 to 15,000 steps a day before I even get out of work. And, I'm not home, so I don't have these as shitty eating habits that I was having when I was home all the time. I was spending $30 a day on DoorDash for 5 or 6 months and just eating dog shit food. And it just wasn't awesome. And, it's, I can't remember, I saw this comedian or something like that, but he was making fun of one of his buddies who is much smaller than I was. And, but he was still overweight. And he's like, have you ever just thought about, like, trying to be less fat every day? And, like, it was funny, but I was like, damn, dude, like, he's making fun of his buddy who, like, looks like what I wish I could look like right now. And I was like, fuck, man, it always clicks for at different reasons for different people. And, I've made a lot of progress on that. I'm probably going to keep my health stuff a little bit more private, as I don't want people to. I had a lot of amazing outpour from the video that I did, the In My Experience Fat video, right? And I didn't make that video anticipating people reaching out to me and checking up on me like that. And I was more vulnerable at that moment in time in my life, for sure. And maybe I needed people to talk to, but I just don't want people to be worried for me, right? I never want that to be the case with content creation. I'm doing this because when I was a young kid and even into my early adulthood, I was in bad spots in my life, and people on YouTube helped me through it. Like if you go watch some of Markiplier's old videos where he would talk about and just have complete breakdowns of people saying how he saved their lives. There was YouTubers who did that for me, and I'm not saying that I'm doing that for anyone at all. I don't think I am. But if someone's having a bad day and they watch 10 minutes of my video and it takes them out of that bad day for a little bit, and maybe they laugh, or maybe they start thinking of like something different, that is a success to me. It's a success to me, and that would make me really happy as a person. And if it ever gets to a grander scale where I can do that for many, many people, I would be so happy. I'm not. You could ask anyone around me my whole life. I've never been a money person. I've never been a let's get fucking Ferraris and mansions and do all this type of stuff, because for me, it doesn't really do it for me. Now, I am going to say, with that being said, I am getting a new car, which I'll talk about soon. But I'm not a things person, right? Like the stuff that I like is all this dumb shit that's in the background of my like back here, like all this is all under $50. It's just shit that makes me happy because it's silly and dumb. I don't have really expensive stuff because it doesn't do anything for me. When I was younger, I had more expensive clothes, and like for some people, you just hit a point where you're like, why? What does this do? Is it because it makes, like, I clothes are maybe a bad example, right? Because I think if you dress confidently, like you dress the way you want to dress, it does impact your mental state. But I've never been a person who's like, hey, I got to go get the new thing or have the best thing of this or whatever it is, because like it's just not what makes me happy. And if it makes you happy, that's totally cool. I'm not bagging on anyone that it does. But for me, I've never been a money person. So all of these goals, all of these passions that I have are honestly to try and take people out of when they're not feeling good and make them feel a little bit better. Stand up, a book, poetry, YouTube, podcasting. Like all these things aren't like, I'm not doing them because I want to be filthy rich, right? If it happens because of that, what's going to happen is I'm going to give a fuck ton of money away. I'm not just saying that either. Like, I don't, like, there's so many people who need shit, right? Like I watch these videos where, and I know there's like a weird stigma on it, but I don't quite get it. I can discuss that at a later time. But I watch these videos of dudes who are like on TikTok now who are secretly going up to people buying groceries and like distracting them, like, oh hey, what's over there? And then they tap their card and pay for the groceries and walk away. Like shit like that is so awesome to me, right? Like, and I get like there's this whole stigma where they're like, well, why do you have to film it? Why are you doing it for views? Dude, it's not like, who gives a shit if they're doing it for views? They're doing it and it's producing positive content in the world. It's showing that, hey, you know what? Maybe I am making a video, but I'm doing something good in this video versus doing something bad, right? If you live through the prank time period on YouTube, right? It was like every single person, every single video that was going viral was like these people being fucking dickheads to other people. It was a toxic time period. And now, and I really do think a lot of it has to do with Mr. Beast, but I think now we're at a time period where it's like, let's fucking do cool, nice shit. Let's make cool, nice shit for people. Let's pay for people's groceries. Let's give someone a new car. Let's if you get to the crazy wealth, let's get someone a fucking house. Let's pay for the rent for a year. Like, you don't realize how impactful that is. If someone even pays, like, there's people out there where if you pay gas for somebody, you could change their whole entire week and their month financially. And that's the kind of content that I want to get to a point where I'm making. And if YouTube pops off for me, and I become this big thing or whatever you want to call it, that's what I want to do. That's the kind of content I want to make. I want to hold contests for people and, like, have people come and do like gaming tournaments for prizes, and then have videos where it's like going out and finding people who are struggling and trying to help them, because like because I can help. I want to be able to help, and I'm not at the point where I can help that much, and I'm hoping that I can be. And that's kind of like my goal with all the stuff that I'm working on, is like helping in some sort of way. And if it's like distracting your mental state with content, then that's a win for me. And I know that I am for some people. I get a lot of very nice comments and compliments and DMs from people like, hey, keep going, like old friends and whatnot, like, hey, it's so cool you're doing that, I love this thing or this thing, and like it's great. It's awesome, and I'm not stopping. What's that Wolf of Wall Street? I'm not fucking leaving. Like, I'm not. So I mentioned a car. So I I did just say that I'm not really a thing person, but I I decided that I'm going to get one of my dream cars. I'm not gonna spoil it here. I'll make a video, I'm sure, when I get it. It's awesome to be able to be in my career, be in a spot where I can do something like that, as well as it's going to help other people around me, given the current gas price situation. And even if gas prices do go down, it will still be a net win for myself and the people around me. So, news on that to come. I'm also, there's a couple other things that haven't started quite yet, but are going to. I've done a little bit of boxing classes with people, and I've still been looking for a full-time gym that I want to get back into and start training. I really don't want to miss out on the YouTube boxing stuff. Now, I'm a very chill, relaxed person, but I also have a very wild, competitive side, and boxing and fighting and MMA is the best sport for that, because I don't have to rely on a team. It's on me. Now I have a lot of stamina and fitness I need to take care of before I'm in the ring with anybody, but that's something that I will be pursuing in the near future. Today is my birthday, July 23rd. I turned 28 years old, and I will do another one of these videos next year when I turn 29 and see where we're at. Maybe I'll react to this video as well and see if anything has surpassed. I also, oh man, I don't know where I put this. So at the beginning of the year, I decided to make a resolutions, even though I fucking hate them. They weren't really resolutions; they were just goals that I wanted to add to the ones that I keep every day. Let me see if I can find it. I kind of want to update and see how I am doing. Oh, there's going to be a lot of content to go through. I guess going through this through the Facebook is a good thing. Sadly, this year I did lose two people in my life. Uh, One of them I'll keep private. The other one was uh, Aaron Palmer, who had been on the podcast a lot, and tragic that he passed away. I've talked about it a little bit, and that's probably been one of the hardest parts of the year. Um, I wasn't super like we weren't like buddies as in we were hanging out every day, but he made a pretty big impact on the podcast. He was a guest that had shown up many times, and the audience loved when he was here, and his content will forever be here. But for me, it was really tough because I also like a lot of his friends and family, and it just, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. And it was the first time that I've ever gone to a funeral of someone who is relatively my age. I think he's like a year younger than me, and it just sort of put things in perspective. Of doesn't matter what you got going on at any minute, things can change, and I just, yeah. But all right, so here's my goals. So this was posted on January 12th. So let's see here. Have my first 100K year financially. I am fairly on track for that. Thankfully, which is cool. I don't think I'll hit it, but I'm on track to get super close. Monetize on YouTube. We're about 512 subs away and about 2,400 watch hours away from that. Double my views across all platforms. YouTube, we are about 12,000 views away from doing that. And then we're about 3,000 views away from all the other podcast platforms. Guest on 10 podcasts. I've done 2 so far. So I'm short on that quite a bit. 10,000 followers on Insta and Twitter. That one we're super far away from. Performed stand up 10 plus times. I've performed twice, so I need to get on top of that. So those are the goals that I set, or the reevaluated my goals at the start of the year, and that's where those lie. So we got some work to do still, but that's on top of everything else going on. So, all right, guys. Well, this will be it for my birthday video. Thank you so much if you actually watched this one. I know I'm not going to post it anywhere. It's just going to kind of be on the page. So if you come across it, cool. If not, that's okay. It's kind of one for me and one for the close people who give a shit. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.